Well, what a historic win for Team India. And of course, this is very, very well deserved. Let me state stats that have been, of course, reiterated on this channel. And of course, the comms have been saying it. But India has done it without their four key players, actually now five, as I was correctly reminded of, not even Umesh Yadav. So this makes it really big. Also, none of the players out there who were playing today have won a test match while chasing. So again, it makes a very historic win for India. I've got Deep Das Gupta and Pragyan Ojha joining me. Good morning, gentlemen. It's a
Good.
beautiful morning in.
Yes, it is. Started off early, but thank God we were up for it.
We were absolutely up for it. Pragyan, your thoughts on Test 2? And we stand one apiece, Australia versus India, but should have been 2-0.
Yes, it should have been the way India played. India was a better side. I have been telling you from the first test itself. Remember, I told you about the session wins. Last test, it was 4 sessions by Australians and 3 sessions by Indians, and one was shared. But if you look at this test match, it was 7 by Indians and 2 by Australians, and I think 1 or 2 were shared by both the teams. So it says that uh, India is playing brilliant cricket. It is just that one session which went horribly wrong against us. And this was superb, Ajinkya leading from the front, and Mohammad Siraj, the way he got those wickets, debut game, getting 5 wickets, 2 and 3. Superb. It's a brilliant start to his career, and really, really happy. And I think this team will go far because this is a very strong statement. Without their main 5 players, Umesh was not bowling in the from the playing 11, not playing. The regular features were not there, and these guys did brilliantly well.
Yeah. So let's just break this down. For the kind of players that were playing here, and let's just start with Siraj and Shubman Gill ki Shubh Shuruaat. That's for you, Z. Shubman Gill, I think, has proved an element, and what a proud moment it must have been that he's playing his first test at MCG, and India has this historical win.
Absolutely. And listen, the whole team was under pressure, which would include someone like Shubman Gill as well, even though he wasn't part of the playing 11 in the last test match, but he was part of that dressing room. So I'm sure he must have been under pressure. And as it is, I mean, you're making your debut, your test debut. That's phenomenal. But again, we've got a sneak preview in the first innings, what the potential he has. We also got to see in the second innings the kind of potential and talent he has. Listen, we all know this. We've been following him since under 19, then Ranji Trophy, now here. And he's shown that he belongs at this level. How comfortable he was. Yes, he got a few reprieves in the first innings, but you could see what he's all about. You could see that he belongs here. He's got the time, he's got the shots, he's got the temperament, and I just hope he realizes his potential because it's immense. He's a special talent. I just hope he goes on to kind of maximize what he's got.
Yep. Also, Pragyan, did you think that Australia looked a little scared against the short ball barrage from India?
They were not comfortable for sure. They are a fragile batting side, I tell you. Look at their opening, they never looked comfortable against our spin as well. Not only the short ball, but also our spin. I think they need they need to put a lot of thinking into the next game. They're going to play in Sydney. So they are under pressure because I'm telling you repeatedly, if you look at both the teams, India is playing better cricket than what Australia is playing.
Yeah. Also because, of course, the batting is pretty fragile, and the batsmen let them down in 2018, and it has happened again in 2020.
Absolutely. Listen, you were expecting a lot from Steve Smith and Labuschagne, and both of them, they've had very, very ordinary series so far. Having said that, both of them, especially Steve Smith, is a quality batsman. He will bounce back, but we can't take any credit away from the bowlers. But the whole approach has been so un-Australian. Listen, we were known. We knew that Australian batsmen were good off the back foot, square off the wicket shots against the short pitch. They've struggled. We knew that they look to score 300 plus runs a day, 320 runs a day. That is the kind of approach they have towards batting, test match batting. They're scoring at 2 runs and over. So the whole approach is very different, and that's where I think, as Pragyan mentioned, they need to look at how they're approaching their batting. Again, take nothing away from Indian bowlers. I think they've been absolutely brilliant. The difference between this bowling attack and the ones that we've seen in the past is the discipline. There have been quality bowlers. Even someone like Umesh in the first series, 2014, when he was there, he would bowl 3-4 good deliveries and 2 boundary balls. But now they've cut down. The discipline aspect has become so important and such an impressive part of this bowling lineup that even if they're not picking up wickets, they're not giving away runs. So if you see, there's been partnerships, maybe not in terms of runs, but in terms of overs. But they haven't been able to kind of cut loose or score freely. And that's where I think this bowling attack obviously has the skill, but also the discipline to kind of, keep batsmen like Steve Smith and Labuschagne in check.
Yeah,
and also add to that, this is one thing that our bowlers are bowling brilliantly, and the India A cricket has done, and under 19 cricket has done wonders to this young setup. But saying that, even the team that India is facing right now is a fragile team, that Australian team. So the quality of batting also has gone down. If you see in 2014, prior to that, so the quality of batting has also gone down. Yes, no credit taking, we're not taking away from our bowlers, but I felt whatever the Indian bowlers did today was brilliant, and in 2018 what they did was brilliant. But if you look at 2014 and prior to that, it was also the batting that was very dominant. If you look at the Australian side, that was a gun side. And now you can put pressure by bowling discipline line, but then you had to take wickets. You cannot contain them. That is also a big factor.
Okay. There are plenty of pluses for India for sure from both ends. But would you say that still overconfident after Adelaide stint? Good morning, Boryada.
Good morning. Sorry, I was on India today, so missed the first 6-7 minutes.
No problem.
I'll just come to you. Deep?
Yeah, sure.
A little overconfident, do you think, after the Adelaide stint?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that they've done anything to be overconfident about. I'm sure in that dressing room, the Australian dressing room, there is enough experience and knowledge of the game to realize that 36 was an aberration, and they will not get India out for 36 again. Might be cheaply, but not 36. I think they know that. So I don't think they were overconfident, and they also know their stocks as well. They do realize that their batting is fragile. They're also a bowling dependent team. So yeah, I wouldn't say they were overconfident.
Okay. Well, Boyod, since you joined in, we've got a question for you from Rahul Singh, and he's asking you for Michael's phone number because he wants to give him a bit of a hammering.
I didn't get that question because Rajoshi joins. Every time someone joins, I get an audio glitch. So that will continue for the next 30 seconds. But with your permission, I want to just mention one thing. I was actually in agreement with Pragyan and Deep and everyone who said about the Australian batting, and, previous Australian sides were gun sides. And I've been thinking about it since practically 4 a.m. in the morning when I got up to watch this game. But you know what? 2011, we lost 4-0. 2014 again. I think this Australian side, right, we say the batting is inferior. It is. And I agree with Pragyan, absolutely right. The bowling is better. Peter Siddle, Ben Hilfenhaus, a rookie James Pattinson, and a rookie Nathan Lyon is inferior to Josh Hazelwood, Pat Cummins, Mitchell Starc at their best, and a top draw Nathan Lyon. So Australia, in the bowling department, actually makes up for that batting. So I think India deserves more credit, this one, because of the context and because of the Australian bowling attack. This attack is as good as any Australian bowling attack, and that has to be said. 2011 wasn't as good. It was Peter Siddle, it was James Ben Hilfenhaus, and look at their records, you will understand. Ben Hilfenhaus, Nathan Lyon, and a rookie James Pattinson. 14, again. So 2018, it was the same attack, and this is a top quality attack. So we've got to keep that in mind. Both teams are batting fragile, but bowling-wise, this Australian side is a super gun side. So when we compare victories, according to me, there are many victories: 71, 18, 2008, that Perth Test match after Monkey Gate. I mean, and I'm all talking Australia here, except if you say 71 as a transition. And obviously Saurav's win, Deep was there. I would say this win, because of the context and 5 guys missing, will be right up there, if not the best Indian win in Australia.
Nice. So that's a different narrative altogether that we started. It's like two teams with really good bowling attack, which sort of makes up for the fragile batting. Deep, your take on that?
Yeah, and listen, we aren't taking anything away from the Indian batters, because we do realize these two teams have the best bowling attack, test bowling attack in the world, Australia and India, and we've said that before as well. But when we were talking about Australia, we're talking about the approach, how different the approach has been, at least as far as I'm concerned. So that again, if I may say so, is very un-Australian like. But again, let's be very, very fair that this is one of the best bowling side that both the teams have, Australia and India, across all conditions, whether it's turning, whether it's steaming, whatever. I mean, these two bowling sides are really, really top. And credit obviously the Indian batsmen. Both in 2018, it was the same bowling attack, right? And this series so far that they've done so well, except for that one innings.
By the way, Ridhima, my audio is fine. So what was the question, if you still want me to take that?
Well, the question was, Rahul is asking, can you please give me Michael's number? He wants to give him a hammering. This was just
Whose
a joke.
number?
Michael Vaughan.
Michael Vaughan. Give him a hammering on Twitter, my friend. Give him a hammering on Twitter. Forget about his number. Because, and enjoy. Today's your day to enjoy. So enjoy, try and be as witty, as sarcastic, as whatever you want to be, but don't be disrespectful. The series is not yet over. Huh? It's 1-1. You've not yet won the series. So don't jump the gun and say everything has been achieved. That's been our problem. 36 all-out team from God to dogs. Match win, India is the best team in the world. No. Let's have perspective. So let's have perspective. It's still 1-1. Lots to play for in 21.
That's absolutely true. We're still evenly poised, but lots to look forward to. Good morning, Rajeshri. Rajeshri, what do you attribute this win to? Also, we've got a question for you. We've got Pankaj asking, can this win solely be attributed to Rahane for his batting and leadership skills against all odds to win the match?
Solely be attributed? No. I mean, you cannot. It's a game of cricket, right? You cannot. This is not an individual sport. He would take a large part of the credit should go to him, like we have been discussing for the last 3 or 4 days. His captaincy, leadership, his batting, the way he's led his team, the tactics. Obviously, these are these are team management changes. And let us also not forget that this is Virat Kohli's team, right? It is Ajinkya Rahane who stood up, and we have credited him. We have given him credit where due. Fantastic captaincy. This win in, I've been hearing Boria, Pragyan, and Deep talking about this victory, analyzing the bowling lineups as well. But remember, even this bowling attack, right? You take away Mohammad Shami and Umesh Yadav injured. So on paper, this bowling attack, the Australian bowling attack was absolutely the same. On paper, the Indian bowling lineup was a step notch little experienced than the 2018 series. So all the more credit. And it was a flat pitch conditions where Australia are accustomed to. Absolutely kudos to the Indian team for picking it up. But solely be responsible, that would be putting it a little too far, as Pragyan and Deep will tell you in a game of cricket. All credit to the entire team management for keeping their cool. It was a lot of heartbreak. We almost had Australia on the mat in Adelaide. That one session that really cost us. If you go back to the pie charts from Adelaide, that one session that cost us 1 hour of poor batting. But kudos to them for bringing this up and for all the bold changes. We have been talking about it. It's all bold changes.
Yeah. Pragyan, I mean, things that, Boria said and also Deep mentioned is that two teams with a great bowling side. So would you say India just did their homework better?
I think both the side did their homework better, but our batting unit, did a better job. Our batting unit showed character. None of their batsmen did anything special. That's the difference. Both the teams bowled well. That's what I feel.
Okay. Boreda?
I agree with Pragyan. I actually agree. I mean, if you say their bowlers bowled any less, no. Ajinkya Rahane put his hand up. No one did from Australia. Steve Smith, Manas, Labuschagne, you've got to do that job. Travis Head did not. They got starts, huh? They got 17. Travis Head, 20, 38 in the first inning. So people got starts. No one converted. Labuschagne, 47 and 28. Ajinkya Rahane went on to get 100. I don't think Rajashi was sending us this stat. No one's got more than 70 from the Australian team from 2018 onwards against India in these two series. Now that tells you no big score. Unless you get big scores in Test match cricket, ask Deep Das Gupta. He will tell you you won't win. So simple as that. I'm in entire agreement with Pragyan on this
one. Okay. We've got another question from a very interesting handle. His handle is Life Critic AMC Dreams Come True. Okay. So he's like, now bringing KL Rohit, another bowler, which is Umesh's replacement, will be justified in the next match? Question mark. Too much of a replacement? Deep?
Listen, as of now, I'm going to enjoy this win. I'm not going to worry about the third Test match. I'm gonna take it easy. I mean, listen, we just won a historic Test match against all odds. Let's enjoy this. I mean, yes, we will have to. I mean, that's a good headache to have someone like Rohit Sharma being available. As far as bowling is concerned, you have another young, really, really talented bowler waiting in the wings in Navdeep Saini. You have that option, so that is, you have backups there. But the Rohit and making plays for him, it's a good headache, but that's a headache that I will not take today.
Okay. Borina, but I mean, is there an update that you have for us on that front?
Yeah, tomorrow. Let's celebrate tomorrow. I mean, I'm saying this on Sports Today. Inside details of Rohit Sharma's quarantine, what he went through, how he went through, what exactly he did. So why today? Tomorrow is Liberation Day. 24 hours later, it's redemption for Rohit Sharma, coming out of jail almost. So tomorrow, Rohit Sharma will probably leave for Melbourne. If the match is in Melbourne, that decision will also be taken today. Or he will stay on in Sydney, 50-50 chance, still 50-50 chance. So that decision will be taken today. So a special on Rohit Sharma with inside details on what this man went through. Celebrate him. I'm telling you from now, celebrate him for what he went through to try and make himself available for these two Test matches. But as Deep said, in 2020, we will not talk about the third Test. In 21, we will.
Okay, deal. It's a deal. All right, we've got Amin Sultan asking, Goreda, honestly, people are saying Australian batting was fragile and all. That's fine, but if Smith was scoring runs, we wouldn't have said that.
If Virat Kohli was scoring 100, if India did not score, got out for 36, if India scored 200, we wouldn't say that. That's stupid. You know, hindsight is the biggest whatever. I mean, what are you talking about, my friend? 36 all out is an aberration. Now, if that 36 had become 236, he would have won that Test match. We wouldn't talk about it. So I can keep giving you such instances. Makes sense in your questioning because, and again, what is this negativity for? What is this negativity for? Steve Smith is not scoring because India did not let him score. Ashwin got his number. Bumrah got his number. Your bowlers have been top draw. What is this problem? India has won a historic Test match, as Deep Das Gupta said. I would have given Deep a ticket and got him back from Goa to try and celebrate in Calcutta if it was non-COVID times. Now I'll keep him away. But the fact is, this is the time to celebrate. That's what needs to be done.
Which also gets me to a question which is very interesting, and this is for Pragyan, Dev, Rajashri, everybody. I think after the collapse by India, this is Rohit Gadale saying, I think after the collapse by India at Adelaide, a lot of credit should be given to the Indian fans at the stadium. We can clearly hear cheering the Indian team. We can clearly hear the cheering for the Indian team and saying, Jeetega bhai, Jeetega, India Jeetega. I actually like that because, you know, we saw Bharatami and its fans India and everybody join in and they were all ready to go and run in that, but that one run kept getting delayed. Gentlemen, your take on that.
Well,
Pragyan, go for it. Pragyan, Deep, both go for it.
No, obviously, I mean, today the sport is what it is because of the fans. I mean, they are the biggest stakeholder of any sport. So obviously, we are what we are because of the fans. So there is no two ways about it. And the fact that I saw this poster at the stadium where it said, we are still with the team, 36 was an aberration, something on those lines. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, listen, Yes, because we are so emotional, we can get carried away from time to time when the team's not doing well because we are so invested emotionally with the team. So it is understandable to get emotionally carried away. But end of the day, I think, listen, anywhere, any part of the world you go, you will find, people following the Indian side, supporting the Indian side. Generally speaking, there is no away as far as India is concerned, especially not Australia and England. Maybe South Africa a little bit, New Zealand a little bit, but definitely not Australia and England. I mean, remember the India-Australia one-day game? There were more support for India than actually Australia. Same in England. There's more support for India than actually England in England. So I think credit to obviously the fans. And like I said, they're the biggest stakeholders. I mean, all of us are here because of them.
Pragyan?
Yeah, it's very true.
Okay, Pragyan is a man of few words. All right. All right, this one's for you, Pragyan. Mrityunjay Mishra is like first time in Australian history in last 32 years. While you already mentioned the answer, but let's take it from Mrityunjay. First time in Australian history, the last 32 years, no batsman scored 50 runs in a test match. Salute to Indian bowling attack. Special show indeed. Loving this. What are your views, Pragyan?
Yeah, we just discussed about it, the way we bowled, and it's a big statement. Australians not getting runs in Australia. I think they are more worried than what we should be after that 36 all out. They should be thinking about they are struggling to short ball, they are struggling to spin, they are not getting those scores, and I think they are in more trouble than what India was. I think. They need to get their plans set right. That's what I feel.
Can I ask you a follow-up question, actually, Pragyan? I mean, you are saying Australia in terms of the batting. Why? I mean, Manas Labuschagne was brilliant in the Ashes. Steve Smith is a legend, perhaps the best. If you actually see, even last year, New Zealand, despite all that Neil Wagner barrage, Smith got runs, Labuschagne got runs. Why? What is this problem? I mean, can you explain to me what's ailing Australian batting?
I think it's the pressure that Indian bowlers are putting on them. It's as simple as that. They're not letting them play freely. Normally, if you see, if two bowlers are bowling in tandem or in partnership, and if the third bowler comes in, then there is a chance where they go for the runs. It's like the Australian team that we've seen in 90s, the West Indies team that we saw earlier. That's how these bowlers are doing. Our Indian bowlers, they're spot on. You see, when have you seen Australia getting 200 runs batting in the whole innings, whole day? See the pressure that this Indian team has put on them. They have been spot on, and the planning, the way Ashwin planned for Steve Smith, the way Bumrah getting those wickets. Now you look at Mohammad Siraj. He comes in, gets you those crucial 5 wickets, 2 in the first, 3 in the second. How many bowlers have done that? This is a complete package. And Umesh Yadav, whatever he's done, Mohammad Shami. So it was brilliant. Now Jadeja comes in, he bats, he gets you those crucial runs, gets a 50, and gets you those wickets as well. So this is a complete dominance by Indian team. I think Australians were planning for this series, but I think we were smarter than them. The way we planned against them.
Okay, but also the fact that we did mention that the Australian batting is fragile, and a lot of credit now being given to the Indian bowlers. Rajashri, we've got a question for you. Many legends of Aussie written off by India from that loss. Sorry, I didn't understand this. Many legends of Australia written off from India, but Indian team came together. I like the attitude about the camp. I think that's a bit of a typo there, and it says that I just like the attitude about the camp that India has shown in this particular test match. This is Chaudhary Saab for Rajashri.
Is that what you're saying? The question is about the attitude shown by the team. Yes, that's what we've been talking about. The attitude, and Pragyan he just mentioned that, right? That the planning has been smarter. Like he put it so well. The planning, we have been smarter. We have been, I think, more courageous because we have talked about it, right? We've been speaking about it for over a week now. And let me tell you this: Okay, Pragyan and Deep have played at that level. For me, as a journalist, it is easier to write and easier to talk about how India should bounce back after 36 all out, how they can do that, do this. But imagine you are there as part of that playing 11 where you've been bundled out for India's lowest test score in history, and to come back and do that at a fortress for Australia, it's a remarkable achievement. And like both Pragyan and Deep have talked about the fact that we have done this with half the side, No Umesh in the suddenly you go in with a five prong bowling attack, and you miss out on a specialist bowler on a flat pitch. I know this pitch did not have any demons. Pragyan, correct me if I'm wrong. If there were no demons, right? There was no footmark for Jadeja to exploit. He's so good at that. And remember, Ravindra Jadeja is an ace bowler, but he does not have the same variations as say an R Ashwin. So kudos. I mean, attitude, courage, everything. It was just an all-round performance. One of the most iconic overseas win for him.
Rajeshida, to add to your points, if you see day one, the ball was bouncing, the ball was turning. Yeah. If you look at day three, nothing was happening. Look at Ashwin's ball. The ball was, there was so much revolution on the ball. There was, flight. He was trying everything, but off the wicket, the ball was not going the way it was happening in the first day. So the wicket was getting better and better. I think we planned brilliantly. This was smart cricket by Indians, and more to Indian team because, after losing a game, it is how the management and the team came together. This is all about the character that this Indian team is showing.
Yeah. Who really stood out for you from the bowling side, Pragyan?
It would be very difficult because, at every stage, all our bowlers did well. Ashwin picking up those wickets, Bumrah superb as usual, Umesh getting that first breakthrough. It's very difficult to talk about Mohammad Siraj getting those wickets. These guys, Jaddu, they're all brilliant. It's a team effort, and that is brilliant. When you talk about a test match win, you will find few individuals, but in this test match, it was all about the team. Everybody contributed. Shubman Gill, Vihari, everybody. Obviously, we'll see 100 by Ajinkya Rahane. No credit taken away from him, but these are also very crucial, and that's how it has happened.
We've got a question from Sports Addiction for you. It says, Ashwin has bowled really well in both the tests. Has he changed his line and length or something else? He's a brilliant bowler, no doubt, but he seems way more dangerous this series. What is the reason?
I think he's more settled now. He doesn't have that anxiety of playing in Australia anymore. He knows this is where I've been. This is my fourth tour. Okay, these are the conditions I need to bowl, and I know my variations, and I know what I can do. So when you go to a different country and you're bowling with a different ball, see, in India we play with SG. The same with great Muralitharan. I spoke to him. He was never comfortable with SG test ball till his last test match. He was never enjoying bowling with that test ball. He wanted to bowl with Kokobura. But kudos to Ashwin, he got used to it, and in fact, all the bowlers who get used to different kind of balls. That's how it is. And I think he doesn't have any doubt about his ability with the Kokobura ball and the wickets there. He knows these are my variations. This is how I'm going to bowl. He's very clear and composed. That's what is the difference.
Can I also add to that? And I don't know what Pragyan thinks about it. I think his seam position is a lot straighter. If you look at his seam position a year ago or even in the last series, I thought it was more underspin. And now the seam is a lot straighter. You see that bounce and you see the ball turning as well. And Pragyan will also kind of tell you that if there is more side spin or underspin, the ball doesn't turn; it just skids through, right? And I think it's a lot straighter now, lot more towards the leg slipish. That's the reason he's getting the bounce. And I think he's also worked on the revs that he's giving on that ball. I think the number of revs on that ball is also increased. That's the reason you see that dip, which you're seeing in the last couple of test matches. You suddenly see the ball dipping and falling a little shorter than what you would expect. I think he's also technically changed a few things, apparently, it seems to me.
All right. All right.
For me, it was more of not being impatient. That's what he was always been. I had a chat with Rajesh. I was telling him, Ashwin, whenever he doesn't get wickets, he tries few things. But if you see this series, he was mentally prepared. Even if he doesn't get those wickets, he is going to bowl his normal deliveries. And talking about the seam position, maybe I'm not sure, but I didn't see any drastical difference in the seam position. But I think when you look at his bowling, now he's more confident of bowling those offs, and he's not trying too many variations initially. Uh, Here and there, one or two, but initially, when he went to Australia or any other country, you would have seen him bowl, different balls other than his, stock delivery, that is off spin. But now he's much more composed.
Okay. Bharat, we've got a question for you. Any update that you have for Umesh Yadav for us?
Yeah, he's gone for scans. From what I know, I'll get you today because yesterday night I spoke to the management pretty late. They hadn't got the scan reports. Today morning, obviously, I didn't ask because of the test match and the celebration. We'll break it on Sports Today. The moment I get it, we'll break it on Sports Today. With your permission, I've got to excuse myself because we are also on television, so there are multiple platforms. We're celebrating India's victory, but we'll come back one with a Rohit Sharma special and with Pragyan and Deep. My request to both of you: please make yourselves available for a special show today. Is this India's best ever? 71, 2018, 2003, 4, 2002. Is this India's best overseas victory? I think that debate needs to be done as a test match, Perth 2008. Because coming from the context that it did, mentally, without the top 5 players, where are you going to rank? Both of you guys, Rajarshi, Ridhima, myself, where are we going to rank? And viewers, please tell us everybody, please tell us your suggestions. Where are you going to rank this one? With that, I'll excuse myself, but please carry on.
No, sure. Sure. Also, it's time to wrap up the show. So thank you so much, gentlemen. Thanks a lot. And go ahead, celebrate. While we will celebrate with another show in the evening. But thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much, Rajashri, Deep, and Pragyan, and to all our viewers. Of course, a huge, huge, huge victory for India. And it is a moment to celebrate. And what a beautiful morning to start this day with. Thank you so much for joining in. We'll see you soon.